Hey guys, welcome back to Experience Boost Gameplay. My name is Archive.
And I'm Rin.
And we are playing...
I almost said Octopath Traveler. That's the wrong one, though. This is Cinderella Phenomenon.
We are playing Octopath Traveler, but not right now. Shameless plug. Check out our Octopath Traveler playthrough. It's great.
I die. It's awesome.
It's fun.
I'm sure I'll die some more.
But we're playing Cinderella Phenomenon, which is also great.
Good for so many different reasons. The art styles on both are fantastic, but completely different.
Yes, very true. Very true. So last time we had some intrigue pop up between perhaps Sir Alcaster and Sir Mithros. Nothing concrete, but definitely some shady business going down.
Oh yes.
We had a heart-to-heart with Emmeline, and we are now at the gate getting ready to go to another trip to the town.
Woohoo!
Rod is being grumpy.
Surprised?
No.
I think not.
I think not. You're late.
When is she never? Like, she's always late. My apologies.
You don't sound very apologetic.
That's what I was going for.
I know, well done, well done.
You're so grumpy, but you've been late many times before too, Rod. Rod just shrugs his shoulders as he turns and heads into the carriage.
Be careful, Seby might fall off, man.
He shrugs all the time. Emmeline sighs again before looking at me. Shall we? Of course. The three of us sit in silence as the carriage rolls toward the town. This is very much like the beginning. Although
Yes,
I guess
is.
we've done this twice now.
Yeah.
The knight assigned to guard duty is sitting out in front with the driver, watching for any disturbances. Emmeline glances forlornly out one window while Rod silently looks out the other as he rests his chin on the palm of his hand. Very descriptive, even with us not seeing it. I notice Emmeline pausing to glance at Rod every now and then, looking restless. Ooh, what does she want to ask him?
She does want to say something.
Finally, she breaks the silence. Are you still mad that I asked you to come along to visit Viorica? Sorry, Viorica. I actually really like the name, I'm just not used to it. You could have declined the invitation, Rod. And if you would only tell me what happened between the two of you, I would do my best to remedy the situation. Rod notices me looking at him and scowls. He returns his moody gaze to the window.
I have nothing to say, Em.
Oh, sorry. I got a little confused there for a second. But doesn't he not have a voice? Isn't all of this through Seby?
Yes, Seby is the speaker this whole time. But it's said that Seby actually speaks lower.
Lower for Rod.
For Rod.
That's right. I just, up for a second, I was like, wait a second, why do we have two voices? Okay, backtrack. Emmeline. But you used to be good friends with Viorica too, Rod. Better than ever since you were... Emmeline stops herself. But I know that she is referring to his curse. After that day, you've kept your distance from her. Then, when you found out about the wedding, you became even colder toward her. Hello, ding ding ding. Even Viorica is worried about you, Rod. She worries that she might have offended you somehow.
Emmeline.
There's a hint of warning in his tone. Is it possible that Viorica is related to Rod's curse, considering the timing?
That's what we think.
Yeah. Emmeline opens her mouth again to say something. Wait, related? I didn't think they were related.
No, because he's got the Little Mermaid curse, basically, right?
Right.
So, but they're always twisted. So we think that he's actually in love with Viorica.
Right, which I thought.
But she's getting married and stuff. But he lost his voice.
He can't tell her.
He can't tell her that he is.
See,
he
I
has
didn't
to
make that
communicate
connection.
it, but I don't. That's kind of how I was.
You're smarter
thinking
than me.
it.
I knew there was Viorica and that he likes her, and I knew he had a curse and he doesn't want to break it, and I didn't put the two and two together.
Because to break it, he'd probably have to tell her,
Right.
and she's already gonna marry some other person.
Which is part of The Little Mermaid. Okay. Got it. Emmeline opens her mouth again to say something, but then suddenly stops and returns to the window, her expression mirroring Rod's own gloom. We are all silent until we arrive at the toy shop. We are silent a lot. There's Cinderella in the back. I saw her. I don't remember how I did hers. Emmeline, good to see you again, and you too. Rin, was it? I nodded in acknowledgement. Viorica nods politely at the knight who stands guard at the shop door. It's just the two of you today? Emmeline and I both turn around, only to see that Rod has indeed vanished. Emmeline frowns, looking both bewildered and disappointed. He was right behind us. I will go look for him. Thank you, Rin. Let me get this out of the way. Just as I expected, Rod is leaning against the wall of an alley, just outside the toy shop.
Talk to him, stay with him.
I think I would just stay with him.
Let's just stay with him.
Right? Oh, I'm so nervous. I can tell by Rod's stiff posture that anything I say to him will fall on deaf ears, so I move to stand next to him instead. I lean against the wall with him.
What are you doing?
Keeping you company? Rod raises an eyebrow at me.
Since when have you ever liked my company?
Well, I'd rather be here than stay inside the toy shop and listen to Emmeline and Viorica talk.
So you're not here to try and get me to talk?
Well, it's not as if you would answer any of my questions. I've tried forcing you to talk and know how ineffective it is. But I will be here if you do want to talk. Rod eyes me suspiciously.
Since when do you start listening to others?
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! We did it!
Finally.
When you are the personal mate of someone who enjoys talking, you learn to listen.
Emmeline has been happier these past few months. I hate to admit it, but it seems to be because of you.
Are you actually praising me? Rod looks away.
Oh,
his cheeks tinted pink. It's so cute.
Think whatever you like.
I do not know why, but for some reason I'm happy that Rod gave me a compliment. Waltz.
It's Waltz. We haven't seen Waltz in a while.
Forever.
Princess Rin.
Rod and I turn at the sound of a familiar voice. Waltz pauses in front of us with a bright smile. Waltz!
It's nice to see you again, Princess.
Waltz, what are you doing here? He lives here?
Well, I was about to deliver a letter to the prince, but I guess that won't be necessary anymore. A letter? Is Lady Parfait asking for me? No, just you. She wants to see the princess as well.
Not just you.
Sorry. That didn't make any sense. Not just you. She wants to see the princess as well.
Me? It has been a while since I was last at the Martian.
Is something wrong? They need to discuss something important with the princess. Come to the Martian tonight.
Tonight? But we're already here, so why not now? Waltz's eyes shift to our carriage.
You are here with Princess Emmeline, yes? You can't make her wait too long. What they need to discuss with you is complicated and will take some time to explain.
The toy shop door opens and Emmeline stands in the doorway as she says her goodbyes to Viorica.
That was a quick visit.
I will get that eventually.
Remember...
Especially for someone who likes to talk like they keep saying.
Seriously, right? She might just feel awkward that Rod's not in there.
Yeah.
She might have done it partly because she wanted to get Rod to reconcile with Viorica somehow.
Is it bad that we analyze every little thing?
I don't know.
I love it though. They do such a great job that I can, and there's a reason for it.
Yeah, I like the dynamic eye color here. You've got the greenish blue, and then you have this deep red from Waltz.
I want to see more of Waltz's story, but I'll admit I'm really liking Rod now too.
It's fun. I bet all the stories are this great.
Right? Like I'm gonna have to try.
That's the whole point. Is like all of them are deeper than they first seem.
Yeah, I love it. Okay.
Remember, tonight.
Is that a date? No, these are Waltz's last words before he slips back into the crowd. Emmeline's visit with Viorica was briefer than I thought it would be. There we go.
See?
Every time. Now, all of us are headed back to the palace.
It's smart
Rod
writing.
has
They
not
know what
uttered
people are
a
going to
word.
ask.
Yep, on our way back. I can tell that this is making Emmeline agitated as she continues to keep glancing at Rod expectantly. If you have something to say it. Emmeline stares at me. You obviously want to say something to Prince Rod. The only way to get your answers is to ask him directly. Rod does not turn around. It's as if he does not hear me. Emmeline clasps her hands and sighs. Well, I glance at Rod, who still persistently stares out the window, his eyes focused on nothing. He's pretending not to hear us. How immature. Or he's asleep. Look, his eyes are closed.
All right. That's how unfocused he is. They're closed.
Rod, Viorka was sad that you weren't there today. She was certain that you stayed outside to avoid seeing her, which is true. What's going on with you?
I am not in the mood to answer your questions, Em.
Emmeline grips the edges of her dress, her expression becoming more rigid. Ooh.
Ooh, that's a new face.
Yeah, for her it is.
Determined face.
You've been keeping secrets from us ever since you were cursed. We don't even know why you were cursed or how to help you break it. Wait, the rest of the family doesn't know anything about the circumstances of Rod's curse? I had thought he told them everything, but all they know is that he is cursed. We're a family. We're supposed to help each other through problems. Emily's hands are shaking as she gazes at her brother.
Em.
The carriage stops, and as soon as the servant opens the door, Emmeline quickly steps out and rushes back toward the palace. Rod watches her go quietly. Though his eyebrows are furrowed, and he looks guilty, I silently shake my head at him before running after Emmeline. Now who's hurting her?
Right?
Just kidding. I like you, Rod. Emmeline stands in the hallway with her hands to her chest. She breathes slowly in and out, as if she's on the verge of tears. When she notices me behind her, she turns away and wipes her eyes with the back of her hand. I'm sorry for storming off like that. I was just very frustrated with Rod. I said something I shouldn't have said back there. If anyone finds out about this, they won't. Your secret is safe with me. Emmeline flashes me a grateful smile before looking at the sky.
Em.
One moment, Rod is running down the hallway. The next, he has stopped in front of us and is trying to catch his breath.
Em, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too, Rod, but right now I would like to be alone. Ooh.
Of course.
I'm sorry, Rin, but could you leave me for now? She doesn't even wait for my answer before walking
Trap.
away.
She's gonna get captured.
Leaving me alone with Rod. What?
It's a trap. She's gonna get captured.
You made her cry, Rod.
I'm fully aware of that.
Why are you hiding your curse from your family?
You wouldn't understand. I'm doing this to protect them.
Protect them? Rod silently shakes his head.
They wouldn't understand.
Those are the last ominous words. Rod speaks before rushing off, leaving me alone in the hall.
They wouldn't understand.
They wouldn't understand.
He's a very close family. What wouldn't they understand?
Yeah, something's going on. What happened to him? Ooh.
You have to go to the Martian, remember?
I know, but I like the coloring. The hallways are silent at this time of night, as most everyone in the palace prepares for bed. I'm now on my way to our meeting place. Rod told me earlier to wait for him here. I thought he would make me go to the Martian by myself after what transpired with Emmeline, but I was wrong. Emmeline was so upset today. I've never seen her like this before. I turned my thoughts back to the Martian, and to what Walt said earlier. I wonder what Parfait wants to talk with us about, and I wonder what her voice is. I feel my heart beating erratically against my chest. Why do I feel like something bad is going to happen? I realize that I have been standing in the open for a while. Perhaps I should move. People might find my standing here suspicious. I start walking again. I'm surprised when I feel a hand close around my wrist and pull me into the darkness. I open my mouth, but a hand muffles my scream. Whew.
Shh.
I was a little nervous.
I was too. It was like...
Oh. Rod? Rod's gaze is icy. He speaks quietly, but I can feel the anger simmering underneath his words.
What if someone saw you just standing there? Have you even thought about how they might get suspicious?
His tone is so accusatory that for a moment I cannot find my voice. But then he is right. I should have been more careful. Sorry. Rod stares at me, surprised. What?
I never thought I'd hear you apologize, especially to me.
Oh. Well, at least I know how to apologize, unlike you.
And why would I ever have reason to apologize? Or why would I ever have reason apologize to you? I think it's missing a two, right?
I think it is.
Why would I ever have reason
To apologize
to apologize to you?
Because you've done nothing but treat me coldly, even when I have done nothing to personally attack you. Rod scowls at me but does not say anything. Instead, he sighs and takes my hand, pulling me after him. Aww. I love that the closer we get, the more and more we see
The more art we get.
Oh, it's so
I like
fantastic.
that Seby's reaching out back. Hey, come on,
Oh,
man.
look! He is so cute! And he's all blushing. Oh, I love it. What?
Let's go before the guard sees us.
I have no energy to argue with Rod, so I allow him to pull me along. Yes, that is why I allow him to pull me along.
I'm sorry.
Oh. What? He apologized to me?
Don't make me repeat myself.
I didn't hear you clearly.
If there's one thing I know about you, it's that you're not deaf.
Of course I'm not.
Shh, someone will hear you.
I glare at Rod, but he doesn't respond. He rarely does.
Princess, your hand is really warm.
You can feel it?
Right?
Rod freezes in place and glares at Seby, who seems to be shrugging.
Wait, why was he... Oh, your thoughts are too loud, Rod.
Through the dim lights... Oh, it's his thoughts.
Oh.
Through the dim lights, I can actually see a faint blush on Rod's
Well, that's probably
cheek.
how Seby has to be able to read Rod's mind, right?
Yep,
So
he does.
it was too loud for him to know what he was trying to... if he was going to say it out loud or not.
Mm-hmm. You are blushing.
I am not.
He lets go of my hand, and starts to walk toward the secret passage with me trailing behind him. We look around to make sure no one is in sight before we both slip inside. These guys are really great at the romantic scenes, and it's been slowly increasing. Like it's really
been
good.
natural, you know.
Yeah, it's been natural. I'm
Not
impressed.
forced in any way.
I'm impressed. I've read many romance books because a lot of my writer friends write romance, and this is very good. We look around to make sure no one is in sight before we both slip inside.
Ah, the tunnel of eternal flames.
I follow closely behind Rod in silence. My eyes move upward to the little bunny plush hanging on his shoulder. Seby, I've been wondering, have you ever talked with Rod's family as yourself? Rod suddenly stops and scowls over his shoulder at me. What? I'm asking Seby, not you.
No, I don't, Princess. Rod doesn't want me to talk with others since he thinks that I might say something unnecessary.
I like that her hand is warm.
So much for that. You still speak even when it's unnecessary.
In the dim lighting of the tunnel, I think I can see faint pink in Rod's cheeks, but it's probably a trick of the strange lighting. Rod is right. Seby has blurted out his thoughts more than a number of times.
So you are not doing a very good job, or what do you mean by that? Are we asking
I
Seby?
think we're asking Seby.
I don't think we want to say you're not doing a very good job.
Right? I wouldn't want to tell him that.
I'll just do, what do you mean by that?
It would depend on the tone. If I was teasing him, that
Yeah.
would be one thing. But you can't tell on tone. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say that.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go with that.
Oh my goodness. I'm so nervous.
Well, there are thoughts that he prefers to keep to himself, like his thoughts on karma and his feminine voice, or his...
Rod suddenly clamps Seby's face, and I can actually see the poor plush struggling to get away from his hold. You are crushing the poor toy. Rod glares at me before finally releasing Seby.
Rod can be so brutal at times. I remember the time he almost threw me out the window for saying that one lady had a hideous dress.
Rod glares at Seby once again. He readies his fingers to pinch him again, but Seby hurriedly apologizes before Rod can touch him.
Okay, I'll stop talking now.
Rod sighs and continues walking. Rod, have you spoken with Emmeline since that earlier incident?
No.
As much as I want to ask him again about his curse, I doubt that he will divulge anything right now. I decide to keep my thoughts to myself as we head for the Martian.
Yeah, that'd be hard for Seby. I mean, he has to distinguish what thoughts Rod would want to say,
And what he
thoughts
doesn't
he wouldn't
want
want
to.
to say.
Yeah,
I hadn't even thought about that until now.
Yeah, that's brilliant. When we arrive at the Martian, Parfait and Delora are there to welcome us. The others, however, are nowhere in sight. Oh, let's see if I can. I think I did a high-pitched voice. More so than my own. Ah, it's been a while, Princess. Thank you for bringing her here safely, Prince Rod. Where is everyone? They're all resting in their rooms now. It wasn't necessary that they be here for what Delora and I want to discuss with you.
I will be staying in the tavern then.
Rod is about to head for the tavern when Delora stops him.
You don't have to leave. What we're going to say involves you too, since you're staying at the palace as well.
Rod looks at her curiously, but asks no questions. Parfait and Delora gesture us over to the settee. Is that correct?
I think it's, yeah, settee.
Settee, where we all take our seats. This is something Rod and I must know because we're in the palace? I have a bad feeling about this.
Alcaster and Mithros.
Oh, I'm so terrified.
And I guess we're going to let that terror continue, because I think this is the right place for us to stop.
Oh my goodness.
So I had some really fun romantic interactions between Rin and Rod, and got some more information, had a fun conversation with Seby. I think it was a pretty successful time here in the Cinderella Phenomenon.
It was really good.
Definitely ramping up, staying
liked
fun.
it.
But hope you guys liked what you saw. Leave us a like, consider subscribing to the channel. We do lots of stuff like this. We're doing Octopath Traveler playthrough right now. But hope to see you next time as we continue our journey here in the Cinderella Phenomenon to see where this story takes us. I'm Archive.
And I'm Rin.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.